Right. Welcome back to another episode on Andertons TV.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
You may remember recently, Rob and I made a video called Clash of the Shitans.
Oh, such a great title. So clickbaity.
Yeah, it was pretty popular. A few of you got offended by the words we used in the title, and a few of you thought that what we were trying to say was that all cheap guitars are rubbish, which of course you've completely misunderstood the whole point of the video. In fact, it was the exact opposite. What we were really saying isn't how amazing are these affordable guitars.
That's right. People make mistakes.
One of the guitars that we used in the challenge was this one, which is a Squier Bullet Strat, a hardtail bullet which you can buy for just over £100 in this country.
Or was it this one? You can't tell the difference, can you?
Well, and I believe this was potentially Rob's favourite one. It may have even won Clash of the Shitans.
It was my favourite one. I thought it was really good.
If you've not seen that video yet, you might want to watch that prior to watching this one. But anyway, links in the description below. Rob then challenged moi to this idea of going, well, what if I bought this here affordable guitar and really kind of modded it up?
Yes.
Put some extra, better pickups and change the machine heads and change the wiring and blah, blah, blah.
Quite a lot of money bits.
Yes. If you then added all that up, could you, would it be a viable guitar up against something that you could just go and buy from the shops brand new for that price?
Yeah.
So I accepted that challenge.
And at his own financial expense.
Yeah. What has happened over the last month or 2 months or whatever since we shot that video is Mr. Pete Honore has given up hours and hours of his time.
Thank you, Pete.
To make this guitar here into that mod challenge. So Rob, can you remember what you asked Pete to do to it?
I can remember the majority of what I asked Pete to do. I'm sure he's done a few things I haven't asked for as well, but we never know about those. So first and foremost, change the strings.
Yes.
So the strings were, it's fair to say, kind of dead and kind of cheap.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what strings. They're 9-gauge strings of some unknown origin. They are now 10-gauge strings of Ernie Ball origin.
Yes. And they feel, 10-gaugey and nice and like they won't break for a long time. Yeah. And then we changed the wiring.
You changed all of the pots and switches. So, sorry about that. In here is the box of old things that came out. So these are the kind of pots. Can we zoom in on this? These are the kind of pots that came out. And the ones that went in were CTS pots, which are the sort of generally accepted as like, the professional choice pot. They're about twice the size of these and a lot more money. And the switch came out. I'm trying to find the switch in here as to... Oops.
There it is.
Is that it? Just jumped out there. The switch isn't in here, but rest assured the switch... Oh, yes, it is. There's the old Squier switch that just, I don't know, it says Cortec on the side. Bit of a giveaway as to perhaps who's making these guitars.
Oh yes, it'll be Cort are making these guitars.
And we changed it for a Switchcraft one, which again is quite a lot more expensive.
We're going to get lots of comments from people now saying, oh, can I have that box of bits?
Well, I think at the end of this, we'll probably just give this guitar away generally, but hey, you got to stay tuned for that.
So, under here, if you had a little x-ray going, bip, 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 it's all changed.
Yes, it is.
Under the hood, it's good. So, wait, I want to do a test. Sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, you do it. Just see if it feels...
Oh, this has got more high end.
More resistance.
This has got more high
more resistance on that 5-way switch. This feels sturdier.
It does.
It's
a higher frequency click.
What else did you change, Mr. Rob?
Well, avoiding that part for now. The tuners. We've got these lovely locking Fender tuners, look. And so you can insert your string, lock it up.
Now, Pete, do you want me to sort of paraphrase the fun that you had putting the tuners on, or do you want to come out and tell the people?
Can you hear me here?
Yes.
That took about, it had to be re-drilled, so all the holes had to be re-drilled, and then the new tuners have got two little pegs coming out of them, as you will, which has to be drilled into the headstock as well.
Yeah.
So it took a rather long time.
So what, about 2 hours, and you had to be you had to know what you were doing with a drill, right?
You definitely have to know what you're doing with a drill.
Okay, so what's the next thing that you had upgraded?
Interesting. I didn't ask for a new nut, but that looks different.
It's not a new nut. You didn't get a new nut.
It's just cleaner. I asked for new pickups.
You did.
So these are Barre Canucle.
Barre Canucle,
otherwise known as
Bahute Campolo. That's the box they came out of. You're completely right. This is a set of bare knuckle, made in the UK, boot camp true grit pickups. All three were changed.
I'm looking for a man True Grit.
True Grit, John Wayne. Is it True Grit? Was that John Wayne?
I think it might have been remade recently as a good film.
Anyway,
I saw and quite enjoyed Cowboy Style.
In addition to that, Pete oiled the fretboard, dressed the frets, and oiled the back of the neck with some new Monty's kind of like gun oil.
Did you lube my neck, Pete?
He lubed it.
And you're not.
And my nuts.
I think that's the sum total of what we did. You might notice the switch tip is
different colour.
A slightly different colour because
did he lose it?
No, because the replacement CTS ones don't come with a tip, and it's a bigger. The one off the Squier does not fit on the Switchcraft. So I just stole that off.
You could have got Dremel and Dremeled it out and then just glued it on.
By this time, Pete was about to kill himself.
You weren't here.
Right. So of course the question you all want to know is, what has this cost to do?
I want to know that.
So
should we include Pete's time?
Yes. Well, I'll break it down. So parts alone, it's £150 for the set of 3 pickups. It was £60 for the tuners, so that's £210. It was about £40 for the electronics, so we're up to £250. And then, honestly, Pete's time, he spent about 4 hours in total, 4 to 5 hours, which if we charge that out at what a tech would charge, that's about £40 an hour, so it's about another 2 hours.
However, most people would just do this themselves.
Another 2 hours? About another between sort of £160 and £200. But you're completely right. If you know what you're doing with a drill and a soldering iron, you could have done that yourself. But I'm going to assume that for this particular challenge, we're going to assume we're going to factor in the cost of doing it. So basically, the long and the short of it is the cost of the guitar plus the accessories plus the time it took Pete to wire it up has come to between £500 and £550 in total. So I guess the first thing that we should do...
So the guitar's now worth £580.
...is just literally you play the 2 and go, can I hear...
Okay.
By the way, this is just a straightforward out-the-box one that we've not done anything to.
And by the way, they've rigged me up with a BD1 from Victory, smacked through the Boss tube amp expander. And then I'm into an orange Tuba 12 for the cab. Yeah, that's good. And it sounds like Rob Chapman. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, I need my cable back. Whoop.
Interesting.
You're intentionally playing badly now.
Yeah. It's just because those are 10s and these are 9s, it feels completely different. I never play on 9s.
Yeah.
There's a lot less output from the big. It's thinner and sounds more like a Strat.
Right.
And that's souped up, hot rodded, thicker, more mid-range, and sounds less like a Strat.
It's ballsier, isn't it?
It's a lot. I mean, if we just go. it's got a lot more output. Because we're through a tube amp expander, it's doing a little bit of compressy, soaky, uppy tings and volume changes. I noticed that with the pedal, actually.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of gain increase.
Well, it's because we're gunning the amp maxed, aren't we?
Gunning the amp. But so now, here's the interesting thing. You prefer the original because it sounds more stratty.
I don't. It's interesting. When I was playing them, I really, really like, that opening jam. I just think that these hardtail strats straight out the box are so good. And that was kind of the point of the challenge, really, wasn't it? Which was that I'm not a big fan of modding guitars. So I kind of understand that if you want to do a mod guitar as a project because you're interested, that's fine. But I'm not a big believer in this idea that what you end up with is ultimately a better guitar than if you just went to the shops and spent that money on a guitar. So that was kind of the part of this challenge. So
well, but the measurement of better is in the agenda set by the person doing the mods.
Yeah, it's what you prefer, isn't it?
If you wanted the locking and the extra and the thing,
for sure,
then Well, I mean, for what I play, this is definitely better than that.
Yeah.
Now.
But is it better? So the challenge was
500 quid better.
I went to the store and I picked out a Fender Player Strat, which is pretty much exactly the same as what in terms of price, what I could have bought if I'd just taken all the money and factored in the cost of doing it on this guitar and just went and spent it on another guitar.
Have you set it up?
Well, no, and that was the whole reason why I wanted to get a box fresh one, because I was kind of thinking we shouldn't. If this needs work on it to get it to play as good as this one, then of course that's more cost, right? So the idea was just to go straight out the box, no work, just however the setup is direct from Fender, which one do we like the best?
And I see it's lucky number 13 as well, so.
Is it? Oh, it is, yeah. Lucky
All
number
right, let's
13.
have a look.
So here's a little unboxing bit.
This is a good video. I'm just going to say that. This is a great video.
It's a good concept. And you're completely right. There's no right or wrong. And I guess if somebody's like, oh, I love the idea of tinkering with my own guitar because they like doing Airfix models or building things out of matchsticks or whatever, I can imagine doing...
Or if they have a really clear understanding of what they want to sound like. I mean, someone like Brian May went, that's what I want to sound like, and through a load of work, got his own really unique sound.
But I think for me personally, all I'm really interested in is letting the experts make the guitars.
Sure.
And I'll just go and buy one. So anyway, here we have a Player Series Strat, which in the UK costs you about between sort of £5 and £550. I guess the first thing, the main structural difference, if you like, between the two is that I've got a trem system. Mexico. So I've got a trem system, which of course on the Bullet Strats you don't get, or at least on the ones we used in the challenge you didn't get. So let's have a little play.
I mean, it looks really nice.
Huh?
The body is thicker.
Yeah, the Bullet Strat is the most affordable Squier in the range, and so of course you've got a few things that aren't quite original. So not in tune, epic fail.
I can resolve that for you.
I will tune it. I will tune it. So apart from it not being in tune, the setup on it feels really nice. But
how are the strings?
I don't know what Fender use on here. I think they are just Fender Bullet strings, aren't they? 9 strings. So that's in tune. Once I tune it up, you'll notice the bridge is floating, which is how all sort of Fender Strats, certainly Mexican and American Strats, will typically arrive. That's how they want them to be, about 1 millimeter off the body. So you can, of course, further adjust that if you would prefer to have one flat to the body.
I'm guessing that's Alder, but do you know what the fretboard is?
It's Palfero fretboard, and that's Laurel, so they are a slightly different fretboard material, but it's maple neck. I'm pretty sure it's an older body on these. So we don't have locking machine heads, but we've got superior machine heads to what come on the Bullet straight out the box. So I guess really I should just hand this over to you to do
All right. watching a Troy Grady video last night. Hi, Troy. Never met you, but I'd like to. And he was talking about this picking technique, really in such intricacy for about an hour. And then I was just thinking, I don't know whether I care about picking anymore. I think I might have just stopped wanting to pick anything. I obviously want this more.
So, okay, I mean, you only literally, that's a 5-second reaction,
but,
isn't it? So
yeah,
what is... So it feels better? Immediately, to me, feels nicer to play.
Yeah, it feels nicer to play. It's got the reassuring, it's a real Strat thing about it. I don't know how you quite quantify that, but it just feels like a real Strat. I think the body is way thicker. It's nicely made, it feels great in the hand. I'm not bothered about tremolos. I would immediately flatten that off and hardtail it. But it doesn't do what I modded that to be able to do, which is the
What, the
chunky
higher gain stuff?
Well, just more of the chunky riffage. More is more, Lee.
Now, I suppose in all fairness, of course, we could have chosen any set of pickups we wanted to within reason. So we could have gone super classic, 50s era vintage pickups, or we could have gone even hotter than those. True Grit from memory by Bare Knuckle is kind of pretty middle of the road.
The elephant in the room here is that these don't sound as good as I thought they would.
Right?
They're not.
Or they just sound different. To
No, they have more output,
Yeah.
but they don't have as much clarity. And what I wanted was output and clarity.
Can I tell you what we'll do, because I've got the sort of super 100-watt clean headroom amplifier here.
I think it's important to say that it also just looks really cool.
The black one.
I mean, the fretball wood, the black, the 3-ply pick guard. It's not one bit of plastic. It's not just red.
You get the magic name here.
Yeah, so that it makes a difference.
I'm also going to say to you as well that, and this is purely and simply
the magic name.
This is purely and simply a commercial thing. If you come into the store with a second-hand Squier Bullet to part exchange or sell against your next guitar, honestly and truthfully, it doesn't matter how much you've spent modifying it. The price that will sell for is the price that a Squier Bullet will sell for.
You're better off taking it apart instead of the bits.
You literally are better off taking all the bits off and putting it back to how it was. And of course, if you have a Fender Player Series Strat and you sell that second hand, you'll get what you'll get for a Fender Player. It's just I don't know. And again, it's just my opinion. I'm being fairly down on the mod thing from a personal point of view and from a sort of a commercial point of view.
The one Strat that you own, you modded.
That was my very first Strat that I did mod. And you're right, I did a Squier Strat to try and do an Eric Clapton Strat, but if I'm honest with you, the Strat that I absolutely play the most, in fact, all the guitars that I play the most are just the ones that were what they were.
They're the authentic ones.
The authentic ones. Anyway, let's do this G chord challenge.
It's got a lot more low end in it.
You're right. It's not a traditional Strat sound anymore, is it?
It's a gun Strat. You know what? That sounds better.
There's like no difference, is there?
No, that's louder.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean better. That just
I think
means
that it's got.
I think you're right. I think actually the one actually almost sounding cool is the Bullet. But I wonder if that's because it's got a hard tail rather than a trem. But
in my opinion,
The pickups are a bit closer to the strings on that one, but
all right, if you say so. In my opinion, beyond all shadow of a doubt, and it's a massive anomaly, the original Bullet sounds better.
Well,
than the one with the mods, or the pickups in that. Now you're saying those pickups are lower.
I probably can just quickly do this.
Yeah, do it.
Here you go. A little bit of. This is how easy it is to make your guitar louder or quieter.
But the thing is, output on a pickup is a. Some people want less output. Some people want more output. So that's not good or bad. It's a thing that you can turn the amp up, you know, or raise the pickups like Lee is right now.
I think a lot of you're completely right there as well. And a lot of this, like, oh, it's a bit louder, it's a bit quieter. It's like
turn it up.
That's what the volume control. I mean,
but do it again.
No, still louder.
You know what this says? This says, if you want to get a great Fender, they come with great pickups. Use the authentic pickups.
I don't even know what I've managed to achieve here, other than I'm ending up with going, tonally speaking, I think the hardtail Bullet
don't mess with a good
great. Thing. The Fender plays the nicest out of the three, and I do like the tremolo system on it. And I would not particularly think that what we've done with this by spending an extra £300 or £400 on it is really make it £300 or £400 better. I think we've just made it different and had a bit of fun doing it.
I think you're right. I think it was fun doing it. If this is what you wanted, then that's cool. In my opinion, it missed, and I think it's because the pickups were a bit too dark for my liking. I think
isn't that fun? Again, I know we're going over the same old ground here, and you're probably thinking, just finish this video. This is again why I've always said, or at least not always said, but I think why I go, if you just buy a guitar off the shelf, you've played it, you've heard it, you've tried it with your amplifier, whatever, you know what it's going to sound like. You can make a decision as to whether or not it's worth doing.
Yeah.
As soon as you venture into the realm of modding, you don't know what you're going to get until after you've modded it.
That's part of the fun though, isn't it, Lee?
And potentially that is part of the fun, but also part of the risk.
We should have put Fluence in it, mate.
Should have. Anyway.
These are affordable Mexican-made guitars.
They are.
We know that the most expensive component is the wood, so probably they cheapened out on the pickups. That, cheap as hell, they probably put more money in the pickups.
I don't know. I mean, again, I don't think that sounds bad. It just didn't sound as loud as that. It doesn't make it bad.
On reflection, which of these three would you take home?
That one. Always. Because then I'll just know that it's the best one of the three to play. You know, ultimately, how the guitar plays and feels is the most important thing, because tonally, I could buy a pedal that fattens it up. I could adjust the amplifier a little bit, but you have to have a guitar that stays in tune, plays good, you know, looks cool, nicely balanced, all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that you can't really change by modding it.
Yeah.
So what would you?
Well, I'm a little bit torn.
You think you might have just
eyes closed out on a gig? Currently, that one sounds great. But eyes open.
Yeah,
this one looks great.
So the only real loser here is the one that we're about to give away.
Yes, you'd be lucky enough to.
I'm not sure what you've got to do in this competition. I shall ask our digital media team to come up with something. But I can guarantee that one of the things you have to do to win this guitar is subscribe to this YouTube channel, and everything else I'll put in the description below, and you can find out then.
You know what we didn't do, Lee?
What's that?
Let's see how well this balances now. It's been modified versus the
Let's see
original
if it wins the balance challenge.
Okay, ready?
The modded
3, 2, 1, and balance away, sir.
This has almost. No, I'm losing it, Rob. I've lost it. Okay.
Let's see these modifications.
So the one thing the modified has done categorically is win the balance challenge. It's almost. It's got like virtual gravity.
Yes, that's right.
Anyway,
Lazar worked on it for us.
See you later. I'm going to throw the pick now. I thought that's Rob's idea. I've just stolen his signature move. I'm doing it anyway. Ooh, I just literally nearly took Taylor's eye out.
You know what? You can take all of my originality and
just finish this video. That's exactly what I've built my whole YouTube channel.
I don't need any of it.
Just
you can finish and have it. I don't need to be authentic.
And then you just took this video. Chris's eye out.
Sorry, Chris.
He's
got glasses. He's
sue him.
Bye.
Finished.